Bajim. Konakidum, rise and face the east. We'll do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kadash. Hayah. Shakah. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Zaka. Hayah. Aisha. Baharataza. Kawa. Hayah. Shemayim. Dunanau. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalak now. Wafi now. Wasalak now. Wafi now. Dabaya now. Banasai one. Above. Awsha now. Ayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa Allah. What's part? Awalayim. Ama.
In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Give us of our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Amen.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Alahari. Mayan. Yaba'ah. Azariah. Ma'ayin. Hawa. Aisha. Shemayim. Warataza. Al-Yatan. Lamawat. Ragalka. Al-Yanawam. Shamarka. Lana'ah. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yashan. Shamar. Yashala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Zalka. Al. Gad. Yamyanka. Yomam. Shamash. Ba'ah. Yakaka. Bayarak. Bayala. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Makal. Rai. Yashamar. Apnapasha. Yahweh. Yashamar. Tazaka. Rabawaka. Mayaka. Rai. Iwillam.
In English, I lift up mine eyes.
To the
hills. From which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall reserve thee. From all evil. He shall reserve thy soul. The Lord shall reserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore.
Prayer for the Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua. Babakashah. Dunanau. Hakak. Ba'ah. Kalmakala. Kalmadawa. Hakak. With your heart. How much does Uriah? Hakak. Lahakim. Amathim. Hakak. Arakawa. Ataba'ala. Garsha. Bashim Yahushua. Wadama.
Power in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. All manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
For to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua. Barakhlanawa. Wayashala. Wabayah. Saparia. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magan. Say the name of loved ones once, and everyone with peace the name once.
Officer Sabadia.
Officer Sabadia.
ISK Minnesota. All of Israel. Yahweh Shai. Angels. Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Students. Sisters. Children. All of Israel.
ISBK Minnesota. All of ISBK. Bashim Yahushua. The water I'm up.
In the English. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Bless us in Israel. In the school. Bless Hill Shield Protect. Loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Adamiyah. Alta Kashrash. All that's required. All. Yahana. Ayabika. Yahama. The one. Ra'ash. Al Imaka. Yarayama. Sawada. Wayata. Yatazawa. Atazawapanka. Marwa. Lakawa. Nakidam. Garia. Wala. Yazakar. Sham. Yashala. Iwata. Kaya. Natazawa. Alaba. Yakadwa. Ayaka. Mariath. Yakarathwa. Alia. Adawam. Wa. Yashamai. Alayam. Moa'aba. Wagari. Ball. Waimawan. Waimalat. Palashah. Ain. Shabia. War. Gum. Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Ayawa. Zawa. Labanya. Lawat. Selah. Aisha. Laham. Kamadi. Kasiyasara. Kayabi. Manakaol. Yashwan. Nashamadwa. Bayandara. Hayawa. Daman. Adama. Shatama. Nara. Yab. Mawa. Kairab. Wakaza'aba. Wakazabak. Wakazazar. Manai. Call. Nasiyakamwa. Shah. Amarwa. Nairasha. Lanawa. Nawaf. Alahayam. Alahaya. Shatamwa. Gauka. Kwash. Panya. Waka'a. Ash. Jabara. Yara. Wakalahaba. Dalahat. Haryam. Khan. Radama. Masaraka. Mabasa. Pasta. Dabalaham. Allah. Panyaham. One.
Say it again.
Panyaham. Kalawan. Wabakashwa. Shaka. Yahweh. Yabashwa. Waba'ala. Idea. I. Wabakawa. Wabadwa. Wadawa. Yata. Shaka. Yahweh. Labaka. Al-Yawan. Al. Call. Al-Rataza.
In the English. Keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. And have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. If consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said. Come. Let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
One consent.
One consent.
Now confederate against it.
They're confederate against it.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Moab.
The Garians.
The
Gabal.
And
Ammon.
And
Amalek. The Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre.
Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre.
The shore also joined with them.
The shore also was joined with them.
That hope in the children of Lot.
Hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them, so like you do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as to the Midianites.
As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the loaves like a rib. Like Zeed. Yea. All the princes as a bar. And as a moon. Who said, let us take to ourselves. The house of God in possession. Oh my God. Make them like a wheel. As a stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempers. And make them afraid with thy storm. Through the face of shame. That they may seek thy name. O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble. Forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou. Whose name alone is Yahweh. Art the most high over all the earth. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Listen to us now. Right now. See, he was a curse. Punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Like prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. Israelite brothers. In the school. See, he was a curse. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose. The treasure of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To thy sanctuary. See, he was a curse. And punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. And the nation. And the drug dealers. The courts. The criticism. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. Amalek synagogues and armies. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Works of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airways. The cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people. And seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. And try to stop us. Because broadcast your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause it to go to and fro. Through the earth to consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief. And the murder. Let Yahweh Shai. Michael and Gabriel. Come down to flying saucers. Punish all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause we know by all. That is the angels. That have done it. Cause it to be spread. Through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause him to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you always. So be it.
So you shall be. Oh,
So. Yahweh Shai brought
Yashala. You shall be seated.
All right. Shalom, Israel. ISUK Minnesota with the Sabbath service. Okay, today we are going to go over Ezekiel, the 16th chapter. All right. As you see, for the past 3 weeks, these chapters have been a little short, so we're moving a little quickly. All right. Like always, after the Tanakh, we are going to read in English and pretty much go over what we went over last week. Okay, and see what's new this week according to the scriptures. Every precept that we are going to read is something that you could apply to what's going on in the earth today, whether it's your life or someone else's life. All right. So I want everyone to follow along. If you do not know how to read in a Tanakh, classes like this is perfect. Otherwise, Lashawan Kodash. Okay? 16, 1 through 7. And whenever you're ready.
Okay. Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 1. Wayaya, Yabar, Yahweh, Aliyah, Mar. Verse 2. Ban, Adam, Awadai, Yahweh Shalom, Nawab, but the Yah. Verse 3. Wamaraf, Amar, Adanya, Yahweh, Lyarawa, Shalom, Malar, Dayak, Umal, Datayak, Marataza, Akanai, Ya, Naya, Abayak, Amaria, Wamaak, Katayak. Verse 4. Wamawal, Dawa Dayak, Bayawam, Awal, Da'at, Awatak, La, Karak, Sharak, Wabamyam, La, Rakataza, At, Lamashaya, Wamal, Lak, La, Amal, Ka, Waak, Dal, La, Katalat. Verse 5. La, Kasa, Alayak, Ayan, Lashawak, Lak, Akat, Mala, Lakam La, Alayak, Watashal, Kaya, Al, Panya, Ashada, Beguile. Napashak. Bayawam. Adak. Adak. Verse 6. Why bar? Alayak. Warak. Matabawa Sasak. Badam Yak. Wamar. Lak. Badam Yak. Kaya. Wamar. Lak. Badam Yak. Kaya. Verse 7. Rababah. Katazamak. Ashadah. Nathazayak. Watara Bayah. Wata Gadalia. Wata Aya. By Daya. Idayam. Shadayam. Nakanawa. Washaraya Yak. Tizamak. Ma.
Focus.
Wa. Iram. Waraya.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So that was good work.
Go ahead. Go back to the room. Yeah.
All right. So Most High in Christ, that was good. That was second priest once again, Officer Tarak. We went over the Ezekiel, the 16th chapter, verses 1 through 7. Okay. Now we are going to recap and go over in the King James Version Bible. All right. But of course, we are going to go touch on chapter 15 just to recap a little bit, like we always do. It's always good to do so. So that way, people who missed class, the Sabbath service last week, we can help them fill in the gaps of what happened, so we can follow along with the story. Okay. All right. So Ezekiel, 15th chapter. Yeah, I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. Which verse do you want to go to?
We can start at verse 6.
Okay. That's cool. All right.
Okay. Ezekiel chapter 15 and verse 6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, as the vine tree among the trees of the forest, which I have given to the fire for fuel, so will I give the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And when does this really start to happen? This happens, because Ezekiel is a prophet, So this thing, and here's the thing with prophecies also, they don't just happen one time.
Right.
When the Most High speaks something, it can happen again and again and again and again until he puts a stop to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Until he says, okay, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then that be that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But we think about it. This also happened with Black Wall Street. Wasn't Black Wall Street put to the fire too?
Yeah.
Which was, kind of like a Jerusalem figure at the time. Even Philly. Back in what it was, I think it was like 1985 in Philly. That group that was, that they ended up bombing. You know what I'm talking about?
I just don't know the name. But yeah,
I don't know the name either.
Yeah, I heard the story a few times.
Yeah, people, you know, the city, the part of the city was burning down and all of that.
I mean, really, realistically, that happened in a lot of places.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, a whole lot of places.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, we have always been attacked by our oppressor.
Right.
It's something that we must always understand. That's why anytime that you see us speak about how our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, I mean, there's truth in that.
Right.
Even today, like they don't take no days off when it comes to plotting and planning to destroy us.
Right.
And that's why it's very important that we come together only as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that's not an issue. See what I'm saying? Like, people get mad. They say, how come all of us can come together in this place called America? Well, first things first. You have to figure out who is causing all the turmoil in this place.
Right.
And those that's causing all the turmoil in this place, those are the people that should be left outside of the group. You feel me?
Right.
Like for example, like you don't want somebody in your crew that's going to take you all out. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody who is going to be a threat to you. And our oppressor is a threat. They're not there to give you, any love, any compassion, any strength. They are there to weaken you. So we have to take out the poison. And our oppressor is the poison.
Right.
Otherwise, all of us will be poisoned. And every time that we decide to join with these people, some way, somehow, we always end up getting the bullet.
Yeah. And that's that's why history is so important. It's funny how, we despise history nowadays. Ain't that something? Oh, that's just history. Just history? Hell, whatever better tool is there to learn from?
Right. I mean, history is reality.
Yeah.
History is not fictional. I mean, it's not. Yeah, that's not fictional.
Right, not fictional. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Not fictional.
Yeah, I used to always get mixed up fiction and non-fiction.
Yeah, that's what it is heavy. You said fiction. Fiction is not fictional because that's what people kind of make. That's what's inside their thoughts. Even though they might not say it outwardly.
Right.
History is fiction because they know how stupid they would sound if they said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the way they mind how they think of it.
That's very true. Like, for example, Thanksgiving. Like, for some people, Thanksgiving is something that either happened a long time ago or it's just that's what they say.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's real.
Right.
The events of Thanksgiving and how it was started is real. And now one thing that you can't change is history.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Now, in the sense of, okay, you can't change what happened to the Native Americans. You can't change that. Because when it first happened, it wasn't like it was just once. There was many forms of thanks killings, that happened towards the Native Indians. It's happening today. You know what I mean? They are still being treated poorly by the oppressor. And the fact that we try to change the narrative to say that Thanksgiving is about coming together. How is that it when we are just going to forget really what happened? And it's crazy because there's multiple stories about Thanksgiving. That's why I said it did not only just happen to, it wasn't just one event. There was many more events to come in the future. We talk about Squatos. We talk about the Taino Indians. You can even tie in all the bloody massacres against the Native Indians into Thanksgiving and why we don't celebrate that day. You know what I mean? But somehow we just magically forget that these things happen to this specific type of people.
Right.
And that's insane. All right. And you are a sinner if you celebrate Thanksgiving.
Right.
Always remember that.
And you know what? Here's the thing about it is the oppressor don't believe that history is bad.
Right.
He just wants to distort your view of it.
Right.
You know, we think, oh, well, that was in the past and that was all about forgiveness. But we up under a oppressor that never thinks about forgiveness.
Right.
He remembers. He remembers 9/11. He remembers anything that happened to him. He remembers, America remembers the Boston Tea Party.
Just going to say that. Yeah. I was just about to say that.
And that was a long time ago. And you know what? They don't want Britain to be up under the boot heel of Britain ever again.
Right.
Because, and how do they have to know? How do they have to fight against ever being put in that situation again? Is to be reminded of history. No, you hate history so much, just forget what you did yesterday.
Right.
How about that? You know, I mean, be a real practitioner of what you say others should do.
Right.
If you made a certain business move yesterday, forget about it. Forget about the business move. I had a Italian say, forget about it.
Right.
You know, just forget about the business move that you did yesterday. Forget about that. You know what I'm saying? And start all over again.
Right.
You know, oh, you just bought 10 real estate properties yesterday. No, come on, it's the past. You got to forget that you bought those and start over and start fresh.
Right.
Start with that one property, and then tomorrow forget about that property. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it hit different now, don't it? Right. you know, but don't forget everything. Forget what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Women forget that dude had another woman. You don't forget about that. It was history. It's the past.
Right. And you know how a lot of women are. You know, they have receipts about everything. They remember everything that you said, what you did, but then somehow forget about some that's really important.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like once again, in the UPK, we are practical people. You know what I'm saying? We are practical in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we are not, being silly and stupid and not remembering what happened to our brothers and sisters and what's continuing to happen today. Right now, the Native Americans are still in bad shape. The blacks are still in bad shape. The Hispanics are still in bad shape. You know what I mean? How the hell do we forget that? Now, once you realize that you black Hispanics and Native Americans share the same blood, you should be offended that anybody would celebrate that day. And now, if you are a black and Hispanic, you are a Native Indian. If you are a Hispanic, you are a Native Indian, and vice versa.
Right.
Because we are 12 tribes.
If you're a Jamaican, you're from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You are a Native Indian.
Right. No blood is in you.
Right. That's what they call you, West Indians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're the West Indian. We're pretty much saying you Western savage.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You have the Northern savages, which would have been more in this area, the Dakota-ish area, Minnesota, and all that. These are the Northern savages.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you have the Seminole Indians. Yeah, right. Those hell, they could be also considered West Indians too. Same as Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans. Right. Also another West Indian.
Right.
A West Indian, as a matter of fact, West Indian just didn't mean the Jamaicans and all of that. It meant the Haitians, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? All of these were considered West savages because all those islands right around each other.
Right.
And Cubans, Manastites, another West Indian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are all the same people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? All of us are.
Right. You know what I mean? And like also too, it wouldn't hurt for you to sacrifice that day of just not doing it, not partaking in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how would you feel if a Native American partake in, a day of slavery for the blacks, the transatlantic slave trade? They had a holiday for the transatlantic slave trade, and the Native Indians was breaking bread on that day, and you would feel some type of way because that was a horrible time. There was nothing beautiful about the transatlantic slave trade. And then let me tell you this. All the tribes was a part of it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. All of us.
All of us at different times.
Well, I'm so if I could, I'm so glad you brought that point out. All of us suffered that fate. We think, because you were nabbed up from Africa and brought here, that you never wind up on the ship. Well, there were ships that were leaving from here, going to England, going to Britain, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? What were they doing? They were nabbing up Gadites. The movie Goodbye Uncle Tom. You had Gad and Judah on the same damn slave ships being shipped from America over to Europe.
Right.
Because, so you know what? Here's the thing about it. Some people took 2 trips.
Yeah.
Imagine the horribleness of that. You get off of one goddamn trip, and then 5, 6, 7 years later, you on another ship.
Right.
Because see, now they need labor in whatever the over in such and such. And we're like, well, Johnson over here, Mayor such and such, and all of these. Well, they got a nice little amount of slaves. Maybe they can all give up 15, 20 a piece to then sell them to you over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you got, a few hundred running around, you know what I'm saying, that they get ready to round up, of Gad and Judah, you know what I'm saying, and Benjamin, and all of that, and throwing us on the same slave ship. That's why in the movie Goodbye Uncle Tom, you had that native Indian woman that was sitting there like this. She was stuck. She was, pretty much when something so horrific happens to you, to people, and they go into a state of shock. That's what she was in. You know what I'm saying? She was like a deer in the headlights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was going through the shock. She couldn't say nothing. She couldn't talk. All she would do was just sit on that ship. You know what I'm saying? And but then they tried to say, well, see, these people, such and such ain't never going to be slaves. And this, and that. Pretty much kind of trying to big up the native Indians and put down the blacks is what they were really trying to do. Right. But in reality, all of us bowed down.
Right.
Gad bowed down too. You got Gadites right now that celebrated Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? That celebrated it themselves.
Right.
You got, all of us is destroyed and what they call it, mind screwed. They use the F word. You know what I'm saying? Right. All of us is in that damn situation. All of us.
Right.
Damn, think about it for a second. You got all of these different tribes of Gad, you know what I'm saying? And they sitting there, they celebrating because for one thing, a lot of the Gadite men's got white wives.
Yeah.
She celebrated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She got the kids celebrating. Down where I'm from, you don't even see a Gadite family. You see a Gadite man or Gadite woman, they always with another race. Just like we went to the powwow down in Louisville, Kentucky. It was pathetic. It made me sick. I didn't even want to be there. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing but Gadite women with white men. Gadite men there. He's with a white woman. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. Then you had Judite women there. The white man. It was a goddamn. It wasn't nothing. That powwow wasn't nothing but a damn swirl. You know what I'm saying? It was actually really a swirl meeting.
Right.
That's all it really was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you black, you didn't get no love in there. You black, especially a black man rolling hard like what we was. Oh no, you didn't get no love there. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. And that's how it was. And then here's the thing: at the powwow, also too, you had the people that were slaving, that were working in them little spots and restaurants and all of that stuff. And you could just see the oppression in their face. You know what I'm saying? Right in the midst of the whole powwow thing. And then you had the racist politicians that were there too. The ones that were known for hating blacks that were there. You know what I'm saying? And they was there to make sure that there wasn't no union between Gad and Judah. Well, they didn't have to do much on that area because it damn sure wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, it wasn't barely no Gad there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was majority white men and white women pretending to be Gad. It's funny how they done screwed all the spirit out of us.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? They just sexed all the spirit out of us. If they ain't kill it, you know what I'm saying? They ain't murder it, they just sexed it out.
Right. Also, too, if I may, but like in Minnesota, like you gotta be careful who you call Gad because, you know, it's a lot of interracial marriages amongst the Gadites and the whites in Minnesota as well. But then you have some Gadites who actually stick to their own. See what I'm saying? You might see a few of that. You know what I mean? But you will see a lot more the Gadites mixing with the with the so-called devils, the oppressor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now they may come out looking like they Gadites, but you always gotta ask that question. Who's your father? Where's your father? Oh, you know, my father, you know, he's white. Oh, okay. Right. So you're really a devil.
And you know what? I used to date a Gadite girl, you know, in Louisville. Mm-hmm. Now she had a Gadite dad and a white mother, but you look at her, you think she's just straight up Gadite because she, you know, she was dark, you know what I'm saying, had the, you know, her hair was curly, like, you know what I'm saying, but her mother was white. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I remember me and her was, you know, kicking it one time, just chilling back in the bed and having a conversation, and she's like, boy, I wonder what my dad would do if he found out I was dating a nigga.
Damn.
And this, you know, it's serious that she said that. Damn. Now her dad is straight up Gadite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She said her dad would goddamn flip out if he found out that she was dating a black man.
That sounds like some white shit.
Yeah, but that's what a point that I was making when I went to that powwow. What I was telling the brothers and everything, you know what I'm saying? I was letting them know, you know, a lot of them look at themselves damn near almost like redneck white people. You know what I'm saying? And I remember just like when I was in Tennessee, you used to have a Gadite named Levi. He always, you know, nigga this, nigga that, nigga, you know, he act just like one of them rednecks. You know, so that's real common down when you run across Gadites down in the South. I don't know how it is everywhere else.
Right.
But, you know, where I'm from, they act just like redneck white people.
Right.
You know, they try to be like Lou Diamond Phillips and Young Guns or something. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And they'll say stuff like, yeah, the black man, you know, is such a Negro and he did this and he did that and he, you know, he's such a, you know, but at the same time, he joined himself with the same ones that destroyed his people, took all his land, killed all his buffaloes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, the tribe of Gad also got to face up to their, you know, part in this thing also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, they got to face up to, you know, what can I say?
Yeah.
They got to face up to their own coonery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got to fess up to their own Uncle Tomahawkery. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Gadites are Uncle Tomahawks. You know what I'm saying?
Jigaboos.
Huh?
Jigaboos.
Yeah, a lot of them are jigaboos, you know. Hell, they didn't know no damn. They didn't give a damn about the difference between the two of us at the time. The only time they made the difference is to turn us against each other. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why so many blacks have, you know, they say that, you know, talk about I have native in my family. Because hell, we were one at one point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were we took over cities and stuff like that, and just dwelled and intermarried with one another. I mean, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's had happened. You know, because we realized, I gotta say, you know, in the tribe of Gad's favor, the tribe of Gad, this is one of the reasons why he was seated among the lawgivers, as the scriptures say.
Right.
They understood, you know, back then they understood, you know, when they was freeing, buying slaves from the white man, right? From the oppressor, and putting the full headdress on the Judite men.
Right.
That's a king. Let me clear this up though, because I done seen funny little pictures of a females wearing the full headdress. Females do not wear that. Females do not wear no full Gadite headdress. That is for a man, and not every man could wear that.
Right.
Only a man that was made chief. That was a crown. You know what I'm saying? Like the king's crown. That's what that was. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because people have made it to pretty much into a damn costume now. You know what I'm saying? That was serious. If you had that full headdress on with the feathers going down your back and all of that, that was serious. That was serious. You was a chief, actually a king. You had authority. That was authority. All of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what that actually was. But that's what they were doing because they understood you know what I'm saying, the kingship and everything being out of the tribe of Judah. Even in a time where their history and all of that was distorted, they still understood that, which still amazes me to this day. You know what I'm saying, how they was able to still understand that through everything that it went on and all of that. They still held on to that. Good.
I would like to say something that ties to what you said as far as like the Native American Indians dressing like the way they dress. In New Orleans, they dress that way 24/7, no matter what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got Gad down there. See, this is one thing I do like about the Gadites down there, though. I got to say, even though, of course, they messed up in their thing just like everybody else.
Right.
But I can't understand. I do like this point, though. They not so fast to integrate.
No.
They not grabbing up, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why they're still so dark. Why they still niggas, you know what I'm saying? They dark, a lot of them darker than me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might have the two braids going down and gold teeth all in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's one thing about the Gadites down in the deep south. It's more segregation down there.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why they still look like they did in the pictures from 300 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they're still, not saying that they're in this situation by choice. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, they do, I mean, hell, they're recognized down there too as Gadites by the government and all of that. And whatever Indian benefits, but the thing about it is that chief was a woman. They made a woman the chief. You know what I'm saying? Some sister, huh?
I said that's the sad part.
Yeah. They made the woman the chief, so if they do any business with them, they go through her, knowing that she's a weaker vessel. So if they say, yeah, what we want to do is we want to get several women, to twerk for us. You know what I'm saying? And the little boys to twerk too. You know what I'm saying? Who would they go to for that? They go to that woman and they just dress it up and say, well, we'll give y'all this, that, this, and that. And it is what it is just showing some of that New Orleans flavor and the history of us. They'll just dazzle her all up and she'll let them do it. While a man will be more like, wait a minute, hold on. No, hell no. They ain't going out dancing for you. You gotta get the up out my damn face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it go down like that, then we just have to go to war. Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing about having a man in charge. You know what I'm saying? That's why, the Gadite men that were in charge and everything, like with the chief like Red Cloud and people like that, he's like, you're not gonna come in here and do what the hell you want to do, and we're not giving our brother up to you. So, best thing to do is go ahead and tally up because we ready to go to war. Right. A woman's not gonna do that. She will not have a spirit in her to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A man, he's like, no, you're not going to take all of these dudes here and put them as your slaves. Right. You're not going to enslave my sons. While a woman, on the other hand, will be like, well, baby, just go on with him, baby. Just go on with him. It's going to be all right, baby. It's going to be okay. That man's like, if you got to kill all of us, you know what I'm saying? So be it.
I would say so be it.
You know what I'm saying? But what we gonna do is we gonna get it in, and we gonna kill a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if I may, what happens is you keep your integrity.
Right.
You really keep your masculinity.
Right.
You know what I mean? And once again, yeah, like when you put a woman in charge, see what I'm saying? Like, like for example, a sister, Esther. See what I'm saying? She had a certain position, but the thing is, she didn't do it by herself. she had a man of the Lord to back her up.
Right.
Now, if a woman is in charge in this wicked kingdom, she got to have somebody who's wiser than her. You see what I'm saying?
A man.
A man. You know what I mean? Yeah, specifically a man, no woman. You know what I mean? A man who is able to guide her, so that way she don't make the wrong mistakes.
Right.
She don't make the bad choices. That's worst case scenario. With the story of Esther, which is a perfect example. But otherwise, the man should be in charge. And even with that, you have men above you to keep you in order and in righteousness. Otherwise, you're going to end up looking like the woman, a weaker vessel.
Right.
You know what I mean? If the Lord is not on your side, you are just going to make all the bad decisions to the point where people's lives are going to be in jeopardy.
Right.
All right. Look at all these so-called presidents that we believe in. All these politicians. They are the reason why we are destroyed in every community all over America.
And see, here's the thing too. You know, they know that they can easily manipulate the woman because they know that the woman ended up in that position in her competition with men anyway.
Right.
And you can't love who you in competition with like that.
No.
You can't love somebody that you. This is the problem between black men. One of the problems between black men and black women. They talk about, you know, how these educated black women are lonely and this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: she's like that because she spent, you know, all of her time being challenging black men.
Right.
Being his competitor. You can't goddamn love somebody that you in that type of competitive, you know, arena with.
Right.
You're gonna always think about how to win, how to get over on them.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why she didn't marry in college. Mm-hmm. That would have been the best time for her to get married. Mm-hmm. Is in college. That's what white women do. White women and Asian women and all of them, they go to college and they meet their husband in college. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's why you'll see the nerds together. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's a computer genius and she a computer genius.
Right.
And they hook up and they have kids, little computer genius kids. Mm-hmm. They met in college. You know what I'm saying? And if the woman say that she wants this kind of such a kind of man, then why didn't she get that? Why didn't she get that guy out of college?
Right.
Because she was too busy competing with him.
Right.
In order to, you know what I'm saying, build anything. You can't build with somebody that's competing against you. You're supposed to be working together. That's like you're trying to build with such and such a person, but y'all working on the same project, same building. But his or her mindset is only to compete with you. How's that gonna work? How's that gonna work for that project?
Right. It's not.
Yeah, because the person's selfish ambition and everything is gonna get the better of every damn thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if he sees if he or she or whatever sees your side better, your side of that building looking better, they're gonna try and find a way to sabotage you, to make you look bad and themselves look good. But what's that gonna do for the building? At the end of the day, it's only gonna make both parties look bad.
Right.
That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna make both parties look bad because the building is gonna be screwed. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be horrible. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all uneven. It's gonna be all kind of things wrong with that damn building. Right. So therefore, she's not building now. She's talking about a career, but then what she's really going through is a whole phase. You know what I'm saying? That's how she's really going through. And now she wants to get married at 30 years old, 35, when she figured her biological clock is ticking away. And you know, and even at that time, if she get pregnant, the only damn thing she's gonna do is get rid of the man.
Right.
If she just wanting a baby, she don't want an authority figure over her. If he's not white. Now, if she get a white man, that'll work different. You know what I'm saying? She'll conform. She's not going to compete with him. She's going to conform to whatever it is that he wants because she actually values and wants to keep him. Mm-hmm. With black men, we so damn expendable, and part of it is our fault because we always ready to swoop up some other nigga's ex-woman so damn fast. So what is it? How does this go over to her? That we're so replaceable. In reality, in a good world, You know what I'm saying? How it's gonna be is a woman decide that she gonna leave her husband, nobody else will mess with her. Now, ain't you such a no man? Get the hell out of here with that. You go back to your goddamn husband. 4, 5 niggas tell her that. How's her mind gonna be then? But damn, I guess I need to go make it work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we should be as a people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We should be like that. When we together as a nation, that's how it's gonna be. And she ain't gonna have no choice but to have it work.
Right.
Make it work.
Right.
And that's that. You know what I'm saying? Marriage ain't about loving and happiness and shit. Whoever the hell told you that?
America.
You know, yeah. You know, that's what we be thinking. We think marriage is about happiness. Yeah, that's not what it's about. It's about duty, responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It's about those things. You know, what the scriptures say about a man's life? The man's life is short and hard. I'm paraphrasing.
Something like that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not really put on the earth to have fun. We're here for a purpose.
Right.
Duty.
Work.
Right. Responsibility. Perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for these things. Hell, you think the life of a goddamn in the animal kingdom is just so great for these animals? They in constant competition and battle over supremacy. The lions and the hyenas, they have battles for supremacy. The male lion got to rest on his head all the time when the female's alone, that the hyenas can kill him. You know what I'm saying? And he's got to rest on his mind that as he's getting older, some young marauding male could come around and overtake him. You know what I'm saying? You know, and kill all of his cubs, so that his seed doesn't get, put out here in the earth. This is what life is about.
Right.
Life is warfare.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about. It's not all about having fun and joy and stuff like that. That's not what it's about. That's the kingdom life right there. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom is going to be about that. Because when we have no enemies on all sides, what you left with? You're left with peace, joy, happiness. Right now, you're surrounded by enemies. You got enemies in your bed. Hell, you got enemies among, you know what I'm saying, the people that you love, your family. You know what I'm saying? So how the hell is your marriage about happiness? And also, too, happiness changes from one moment to the next. You know what I'm saying? You looking for a happy life with that same damn woman that done changed her mood 3 times that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we always say in the UK, like, you shouldn't chase happiness.
Right.
You chasing happiness is going to cause you to be depressed.
Yes.
Cause you to be miserable. You feel me? Be at a very low state. You know what I mean? Because happiness comes and goes.
Right.
What you got to do, you got to focus on what needs to be done and handled. And, it will come and go. It'll be moments of happiness.
Yeah.
There'll be moments of, being joyful and stuff like that. But when that moment comes, it comes. But in the meantime, you have to focus on the job and what's important. I'm not saying you got to be depressed. I'm not saying that you got to be sad and things of that sort. What we're saying is focus on what the duty is. Once you focus on a certain thing, that depression and that anxiety, all those things, you know what I mean? You ain't got to worry about because you're too focused on something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, purpose.
Purpose.
You're focusing on a purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, no great purpose that you have is always going to feel good while you're pursuing it. You know what I'm saying? None of it. I don't give a damn what it is that you're doing. You're building a car. You're going to get mad. You'll be like, this goddamn thing is fitting my man. What the hell? You're going to be pissed. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have moments where you're gonna be like, yeah, man, this damn thing coming together, man. But then you're gonna have moments where you're frustrated and you're mad because you gotta go through all of this and all of that in order to get this specific part.
Right.
And you're getting pissed off and you're thinking about giving up. You know what I'm saying? You all of this, the wide range of stuff. So you think life is about happiness. No. What's happening in your mind is a whole range of thoughts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what we do is we stay disciplined though, and we see the bigger picture there. You know what I'm saying? Moods, the happiness, all of that stuff's gonna change. Same thing with a goddamn marriage. How the hell you gonna have a marriage with, you know, for one thing, you using this world, and you're abusing it, because what you actually doing is when you abusing this world, you looking for something that this world cannot provide. The world is never gonna provide happiness. I don't give a damn whether you're rich, you're poor, whatever the hell the goddamn case is, it's not gonna provide happiness. Because you're rich, you gotta think about how to keep your shit.
Right.
And your mind is gonna be stressed about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're poor, you're gonna be stressed because you ain't got no money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a lose situation if you only pursuing happiness in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lose situation.
Let's keep going. Verse 7.
Verse 7. I will set my face against them. They shall go out from one fire, and another fire shall devour them. And ye shall know that I am the Lord when I set my face against them.
Right. So,
you see, you go from one destruction to the next.
Right.
You will be a refugee over here, and then you get destroyed in that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And have to go somewhere else. And then have to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then have to go somewhere else. Yeah, that's, Verse 8. And I will make the land desolate because they have committed a trespass, saith the Lord God.
Right. So in a nutshell, with chapter 15, we have to understand that this is mainly speaking about the destruction. That's why everything that we just elaborated and expounded on was concerning what's all the destruction that's going on today, and giving a little history and backstory. All right, because time and time again throughout the Bible, the Most High had to destroy what we had going on because we were not doing what He said according to the law. All right, it's according to His commandments and His statutes. So the Most High had to shake us up and make a example out of us to show us where we need to be at in life. For example, He kept saying that word purpose, to show us what we really need to do versus what we are doing right now, which is wrong. Everybody is getting themselves ready for Thanksgiving. And that was what, 2 days ago or yesterday?
Right, 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Thursday.
Yeah, if you already saw the articles, you know that that's proof that we should not have been celebrating Thanksgiving because a lot of us lost our lives.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
In horrible fashion on top of that.
In horrible fashion. Miscellaneous, unnecessary ways. But that is the Lord trying to show you what you should not be doing. Now, if you ask yourself, what should I be doing? Get in class. Get in class for your 90 days, and you will be put to work. And now you'll finally realize, okay, so this is my focus. This is my purpose. Once you realize that, man, you ain't got to be the next body. You could have been. You don't have to be the next victim in a mass shooting on Thanksgiving. I thought it was about bringing the families together, but somehow something went wrong. Where someone's being killed. You see what I'm saying? Someone is going through all manners of wickedness.
Yeah, here's the thing too. A lot of people's families are so messed up. Why the hell would you even want to bring them together in the same house anyway?
Yeah, you got the intoxicated, aunties and uncles, and then you got that one child molesting uncle.
Right.
You know what I mean? That everyone knows molested all the children, but everyone's keeping quiet.
Right. And then you got the one that's in the 34th Street gang.
Right.
Knowing damn good and well, he is sitting duck at his mama house Thanksgiving time. And they don't give a damn who they blow away as long as they get him. You know what I'm saying? They staking out his crib. You know what I'm saying? They sitting right up the block, staking out where he going to celebrate and all that, because they know it's not just him, it's him and you know what I'm saying, May and them. You know what I'm saying? Man and Bookie and them, they over there too. You know what I'm saying? They sliding by there before they hit the club at night. Right. So they setting up the block, you know what I'm saying, with the lights off in some black primer painted car, you know what I'm saying? waiting on Man and Mookie and them to come out there. And then when they come out, they roll past, you know what I'm saying? It's 7, 8 family members, they wax everybody, blow every damn body away.
All the children.
You know what I'm saying? Then make a song about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good night.
That's what they doing nowadays. They killing niggas and make a song about the niggas that they didn't kill, on how they killed the nigga and shit. And that's what they doing. That's the new thing.
Right. And like a lot of people don't understand too, like these holidays, or like let's say, all the things that America provides for us, whether it be holidays or religion. If you do not know by now, it brings terror. It brings horror into our lives. Right. It doesn't do us good. You know what I mean? How can you say a church is the house of God, but then children are being molested in the church? That's not protection. That's violation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a sin. Then you got this pastor messing with the other pastor's wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got this woman who has a husband messing with another man. You know what I mean? You got all these things that goes against the Most High, but we put God on it. And that should tell you something. That you are in a cult.
Right.
You know what I mean? Christmas is what next?
Yeah. Oh, so the demons is gonna get even worse during that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the demons gonna get even worse during the time of Christmas.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 1, Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations. Yeah, and that's what we're pretty much doing, when we're talking about Thanksgiving and all of that. These are abominations.
Right.
Christmas is coming up, is abomination.
Yes.
The New Year's is another abomination. Valentine's Day is another abomination. All of this stuff is abominations. Hell, even Martin Luther King or Black History Month is actually really an abomination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing they're coming out with is slaves that have benefited white society to give you an incentive to keep benefiting white society to your own damn detriment. You know what I'm saying?
And like you gotta understand what abomination is. Like abomination is like disgust or hatred towards something.
Right.
And the Most High hates the sin and the sinners. You gotta understand that. Like he hates your Thanksgiving and your Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Like he hates these things because they do not benefit you at all and has nothing to do with him. You always say that God made this day for us. No, where the hell is that in the Bible? If you are a God-fearing person, you have to go based off what God said. Then you got to ask yourself, where does it say in the Bible that God ordained us or allowed us to celebrate these days and do these things? All the smoking, you know what I'm saying? All the drugs, all these holidays, putting our hope and faith into these politicians and so-called Black leaders, turning them into our idols. Where is that in the Bible? Otherwise, you're doing it for your own good. And do not say that the Lord gave you free will to do any goddamn thing. There's no such thing as free will. Free will is you doing whatever the hell you want to do, with no, how you say it?
With no repercussions, with no accountability.
Accountability. In the Bible, it's all about accountability. That's why we got stone death. Right. That's why we dying the way that we are today. And also too that conditional love. See what I'm saying? Like we think free will is something with no standards, no endpoint. See what I'm saying? It does like we can just do whatever and whenever. If that's the case, then we are people who are lawless.
Right.
So and that's why it's funny, because a lot of people, even to this day, they don't believe in the law.
Right.
See what I'm saying? They use that so they can feel comfortable about what they're doing even if they think or do not think it's terrible or bad.
Right.
And they say only God can judge me. Okay, if that's the case, what you right? What you right in some aspect. Why would God judge you if you have free will? Right. You thought about that? Like, right. Why would God judge you if you have free will? If He gave you free will, there's no need to judge.
Right.
So you're contradicting yourself. God does judge, and He did not give you free will. Otherwise, the Most High is setting you up to be killed.
Right.
But the Most High is not that type of God. He is a father. He's not like Esau, who is a goddamn demon. The walking, white supremacy amongst this earth. He's going to give you free will to a point, and then he's going to have snares and nets for you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's what happens all the time. Never trust in what this devil tells you, man, because you will be tricked and deceived. That's why we say our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. They tell you one thing and they do another.
Right, and that's why we say that's right.
Right.
Straight up.
Absolutely.
Confirming that, the oppressor is the devil, which means deceiver.
Right.
Verse 3. Come. Verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. You say anything about that?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Most High saying of the birth and nativity is of the land of Canaan, because what did we do? We took on all their ways. You know what I'm saying? We set up in, once we took those lands and all of that, a lot of the times the Canaanites dwelt among us, and we started doing the things that they did. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is saying, pretty much saying is y'all was nothing, you know what I'm saying, without me. When as soon as we got into the land one of the times, we start, taking on certain ways of them.
Right.
And also too, when we was out of Egypt. Because see, here's the thing. Also, too, this is an even more defining situation right here of what the scripture is talking about. Mm-hmm. Because what ways did the Egyptians take on? They took on Canaanite ways, and we took on Egyptian ways that were taking on Canaanite ways.
Right. Right.
So now, when the Most High gave birth to us, actually, what he birthed us when He brought us out of the water and the blood, mm-hmm. in the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? Just like a baby is birthed out of his mom's womb. What is he? In water and blood. You know what I'm saying? We was birthed right up out of that Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? Before the Most High gave us the laws, statutes, and commandments, we was birthed right out of that. And our birth was of the land of Canaan, because we were taking on Canaanite ways, acting just like the Canaanites.
Right.
Child sacrifice, all of that kind of stuff that they were doing. Because the Egyptians, took on those ways. And also, too, the Canaanites were world powers. They were the very next world powers right up under ancient Egypt.
Right.
Just like you have the 10 most powerful nations today, back then, Egypt was number 1. And right up under Egypt was all the families of Canaan. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, actually 7 in particular. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That were, the most powerful right up under Egypt.
Yeah.
And the Egyptians took on their ways. And of course, they took on Egyptians' ways and so on and so forth. Because all of them come from Ham.
Yeah, right.
And just like America takes on Chinese ways, even though America's not the top dog. But America embraces Chinese and China and Chinese ways. You have a Buddhist population here. You know what I'm saying? You have Hindu populations here, which India is now a world power too. You have Russian, German, ways here. And what do? We take on all of those ways. That's one of the reasons why we take on Nazi German ways. That's one of the reasons why you got to wear uniforms going to school.
Right.
That comes from Nazi Germany.
Right.
The beige pants, the blue shirt, and all these different, that stuff come, even also too, the boys and girls looking alike.
Yeah.
That stuff comes from Nazi Germany. That's Nazi German stuff right there. We don't even know where the hell it even comes from. We just follow suit. You know what I'm saying? America loved the Nazis. Hitler had bankers here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And America is incorporating Nazi programming and stuff right now. That's one of the reasons why you see goddamn 20 variations of COVID going right now. You know what I'm saying? All of that is Nazi German stuff. Okay?
Hey, you heard it here first.
Right. Damn right.
First. That's
absolutely the ISUPK is where you heard this at first.
Right. And no one else is going to give you that type of information. Because other people don't know this type of information but us in UPK. Because we do our research.
Right.
Go ahead.
There's also a new strand and taking kids. That's the reason why that they're putting out the vaccine for kids to get between the ages of 5 and 11 now.
Yeah,
right.
That's right. Yeah, we just talked about that last week.
And notice another thing, the characteristic of Nazi Germany was sterilizations. You know what I'm saying? Sterilizations. They were giving them at the same time as they were giving vaccinations and sterilizations. They were pushing them at the same time in Nazi Germany. America goes on the Nazi German program, but then you look at the History Channel, they act like they was enemies with the Nazis. That's bull. You know what I'm saying? They were not enemies with the Nazis. Okay, thy birth and the nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. Verse 4. And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born.
So like when it talks about thy father was an Amorite and thy mother was a Hittite, it reminds me of that precept in Nehemiah. I want to say 16 and 23. Ashdod and Ammon, how the Jews was mixing around.
Is it Ashdod and Ammon? Right, yeah. Right.
Yeah, the reason why I'm thinking about that because like it reminds me of this. It's just like how you said one nation took on another person's nation and back and forth causes confusion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now, like even today, people think that their purpose is to be a Christian. Christianity is not something that an Israelite is supposed to be a part of. You have your own culture, but you are so out of it that you have been taught that this is your purpose in life. For example, too, even when you think about it, Janet Jackson was just with I think she still might be. Janet Jackson is with a a Muslim guy?
Some type of Arab or something.
Yeah, some type of Arab. Now she's into the whole Muslim thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that never would have happened if she did not get with that heathen man.
Right.
So that causes confusion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now her father, if her father was still alive, I wouldn't think that'd be going on.
Right.
Maybe.
I don't know because you got to think about. I mean, hell, they let Michael run around how he was running around. I mean, hell, they wouldn't be able to control Janet either if they can't control him.
Yeah.
You know, Michael was Michael's something else. Yeah. I gotta say, well, he was he was the love child of dysfunction.
He was.
You know
all the beating, all the abuse, and all that stuff that was going on with him.
One thing that neutralized their father though is all the bad stuff that they said about the father and all the abuse and all of that stuff.
Right.
So that pretty much took his authority away from him, and that's one of the things. Everybody wants to take black men's authority away.
Right.
Even black men. Even black men want to take other black men's authority away.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's extremely sad. Yeah, we even want to take each other's authority away.
Right.
Which is so bad. You know what I'm saying? The confidence and authority, you know what I'm saying, is two things that the world does not want us to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have confidence, if you have authority, then you can rule your own house.
Right.
If nothing else.
Right.
If you have confidence, then you can go out in that world and challenge the people that was oppressing yours. If you have confidence, you don't have those two things, you can't do anything. You're neutralized. You're spiritually a unit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true. It's as if you ain't got no man parts.
Right, right. Yeah, even though you have them, but it's like you spiritually don't have none.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? You castrate.
Right.
You know?
Emasculated shit.
Right, right. And also too, when it talk about, you know, the land of Canaan and the Amorite, the Hittite, all of these are African people. What is a big push now? Africanism.
Right.
You got African pages on Facebook trying to push these cultures up on us. You know what I'm saying?
Pan-African.
Right, Pan-Africanism.
Egyptology.
Right, all of these different African customs and everything. Like this was us. This ain't us.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the Canaanite and African gods and all of that. These the demigods and all of that stuff. They're trying to push that stuff up on us. Which ain't nothing but some type of dumbass mythology.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're trying to push it. They're trying to push this stuff as knowledge. The dude with the dog's head.
I was just saying that.
Come on, man. What the hell? What's the practicality of that? How can we actually use that?
Right.
Some stuff that we can't even use. And we come out of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We were so much so we're looking like the Africans. You know what I'm saying? When you look at us, and we in this like third world situations and stuff like that, like what happened with Haiti, we looking like Africans at that time. Even when Katrina hit in New Orleans, the first thing when I very first saw it on TV, I thought that was somewhere in Africa. Dead serious. Come to find out, it was just in New Orleans. I thought that was somewhere in Africa.
The president at the time was calling us refugees.
Yeah, exactly. As if y'all came from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Calling the brothers and sisters in New Orleans refugees. That's what I thought. I thought it was somewhere in Africa.
Right.
We be taking on a lot of their ways. And the Hispanics, they do the same thing. They take on, Shangos real big in Cuba. And they always have some type of, and the Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? They always have some type of African, thing that they do, rituals and stuff like that. The Jamaicans, they do Gede, you know what I'm saying? Where they run down the street naked and all of that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Africans, like heathens and all that,
Oh, yeah, Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's heavy in New Orleans. It's like a couple days before Mardi Gras. It's the day before because you let stuff go and things like that. You basically they try to cleanse themselves, they don't, because then the next year they go back to doing it. Like somebody like a person in the world try to say they cleanse themselves from smoking or they cleanse themselves from eating pork, but they say they know they go back to eating it again. Or they go back to doing it again.
It's like, what's the point?
You're right, exactly.
You want to cleanse yourself. You come into, you find the truth. That's what you do.
Right.
Absolutely. She's right. Give her a hand. That's right. That's what you do. Find the school near you, man. Otherwise, you're going to end up dead somewhere.
And you know what?
I feel like it's a curse when you try to say, oh, you're going to cleanse yourself on Ash Wednesday or different things like that. It don't work.
Right, of course not. Of course not. It's just kind of like a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a annual sacrifice for the sins that you're going to keep doing throughout the year anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No. Ash Wednesday is when you start Lent, and Lent is when you give it up. But
do they have food?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice. That's what a sacrifice is. Food.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When people go to the store, buy, all type of stuff, and just set up barbecuing and all of that stuff, sacrifice.
It's the last day of when you want to stop doing something. But they don't ever stop doing this because you'll probably see them tomorrow, the next day doing it. And they
right,
like,
and they all, nobody's pointing out. Ain't nobody really pointing out each other because they all doing the same damn thing.
They were like, then you just tell me you was gonna stop, you was gonna give up smoking weed or give up smoking cigarettes. No, you lie.
Right, and that's the person that's shooting up heroin.
Right.
Just saying that.
Yeah. No, you really gotta be honest with yourself.
Right.
Be honest with yourself and your God. But, I mean, your God knows everything about you. He knows what's gonna happen tomorrow. He knows what's gonna happen in 50 years, down the line in your life if you're alive. in 50 years. But you know, you get the point. He knows the whole timeline of your existence in this body. And you gotta tell yourself, if I really change today, I know there's a possibility I can live for tomorrow. You know what I mean? If I stop these mistakes today, I can see a better day because I know that I'm not going to be in a place of the Lord's judgment. Now, although you are in the truth in the UPK, we can still die, but not because we are sinners, because we are not sinners in the UPK, but because, you know, old age. Yeah. See what I'm saying? You know, you may have he was probably born with a medical issue. You know what I mean? I know a few brothers and sisters who have died in the UPK because of being born with medical issues. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know this one sister, she was told by the doctor when she was young that she most likely will live close to 50. And after that, you know what I mean, it's going to happen for you. You're going to fast. I believe the sister ended up passing like 2 years before 50. You know what I mean? So imagine that. You know, heart attacks, old age, you know what I mean? Things like that, natural causes, if that makes sense. Right. You know what I mean? But not because we drug addicts, we sleep around with you know, each other unlawfully. You know, what else? Oh, holidays. Right. You know what I mean? That's the big thing. But we know that we have a life if we serve the Most High. You know what I mean? Ain't no life in America. That's death. Right. That's why we say you are the walking dead. Right? Yeah. But for some reason, that doesn't scare people enough. Knowing that they're going to die behind their actions, they don't scare people enough. Right. It's like, I don't care. We all got to die someday. Right. My family said that all the time. And it's like, then when something happens to you, everyone that wants to start crying, you should start crying before. Because you told them what might happen and you love them so much that you want them to do better. So you should probably, you know, start crying right now. Because there's a strong chance that they will lose their life if they continue in their ways of this life. Right. You know what I mean? You better start thinking about their funeral. Start thinking about that casket. You better start getting all that all black. So like, you feel me? Like, yeah, I remember I told somebody, I forget what they said to me about their life and just them not really caring about what they do in life. And then bluntly, I just said, you might want to start thinking about your funeral. And they were so shunned, like they didn't know what to say. Like they were stuck. It was like, damn, did he really just say that to me? It's like, I'm being honest, like no jokes at all. You might want to start thinking about your funeral if you continue doing what you're doing. Right. It's like, damn, imagine my telling you that. Right. I mean, how can you respond? You can't. Yeah. Right. You can't. It's just like, oh man, okay, this nigga serious. Yeah. And the Most High is more serious. I'm just delivering, you know, the message for you. You know what I mean? And that goes for all of us. You know what I mean? Anytime that we make a mistake, the Most High is gonna, you know, he's gonna smack you a little bit as a warning. He's gonna smack you maybe a couple more times before he pulls the plug on you. But you can't say that the Most High didn't give you warning. Right. When we got locked up, that was a warning. You know what I mean? You could be dead, but you are in jail instead. You know what I mean? There was a shootout. See what I'm saying? But the bullet did not pierce you, or it did, but you're still alive. Right. I mean, like how Kudas said a few Wednesdays ago. He know people where they've been shot in the head and died, and then other people been shot in the head and survived. Right. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't tell me that the Lord is not talking to you. He's not in your head. He's that thing that happened to you. So you got to take that into consideration. Right. So yeah. But anyway, unless you want to respond on that.
No, you cleared that. I was thinking this fourth verse is pretty deep.
I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, verse 4. And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut. Now think about that for a second. If the navel is not cut, that means you was pretty much cast out from, you know what I'm saying, your you know, the Hamites is speaking right here. You know what I'm saying? Neither was thou washed in water to supple thee means all the afterbirth and blood still on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's, the situation where a woman plops and have a kid and then just take it and just be like, okay, I don't want nothing else to do with that. Okay, glad that thing's out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just walked off somewhere, didn't even have the decency to leave you at a doorstep or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how the other nations do us.
Right.
When you at a time of trouble and you needing help, they leave your behind out to, to die.
Right.
Just like this baby was left out to die here, metaphorically speaking, in this scripture.
Right. And if I may add on to what you said, for those people out there who say, you can't blame the oppressor for nothing, we have to take accountability. I do understand that. As a nation, as Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, the issues that we have amongst each other, we should definitely take accountability for. That's one thing. But you're telling me that we can't sit here and blame our oppressor for what he's intentionally doing to us? You're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
You are absolutely out of your mind. Yeah. So I guess it's our fault.
Right.
You feel me? Like, go ahead.
You know the reason why they say that for real?
Mm-hmm.
Is because they want you to stay in the same mess. That's why they say, no, only blame yourself. No nation ever gets free from another nation by blaming themselves.
Yeah, and even Kevin said that.
Sir?
Yeah, I think in one of his songs.
Yeah, no nation ever gets freed by blaming themselves. Yeah. You blame yourself. That's like imagine a rape victim.
Right.
Some woman was raped. And then somebody say, well, you just can't blame the rapist. You got to blame yourself. You got to take accountability. You knew that, I know you was 5, but yet at the same time, you knew, they're trying to make up some stuff. You know what I'm saying? How the hell you going to know any goddamn thing at 5?
Yeah, you're 5.
You know what I'm saying? But they'll try and make up something. Well, you knew that you should have stuck with your mom and your dad. You knew you should have been there, try to find some type of way to put it back. Now, will that child ever be healed? Will that person ever be healed? No. Because what's going to happen? It's all my fault. And everything is going to turn internal. Everything is only going to turn internal. And it would be just like what General Hyman was talking about as far as with the Gadites. Now you're suicidal.
Right. There you go. That's it.
Now you want to kill yourself now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with our race. Black people just only keep blaming ourselves and talking about the accountability that we got to have and we got to do this. What are we going to do? Where everything is going to internalize. And we're going to start blaming each other. You the reason why this is happening. No, you the reason. And you the reason. They blaming you and y'all going to just devour each other. That's all that's going to happen. Y'all going to devour each other. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that, ain't strong enough to devour the ones that's around them is only going to turn internalize, and they're going to devour their goddamn self, and you're going to find them somewhere hanging by a goddamn bed sheet. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why too. For those that get raped and molested, you see what I'm saying? If you don't fight that demon off, it consumes you.
Yes.
That's why for those that accept that spirit, that evil spirit that has came upon them when that thing had happened to them. Now they're the homosexual. They're part of the ABC community, and they're on drugs. You can't tell me almost every person that you see around here who is a part of that community, whether you know them or you don't. I mean, they're all on drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing something to afflict themselves. You know what I mean? Like they all on drugs. You gotta ask yourself, I thought you was happy. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you were so happy, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You wouldn't be a sodomite for one. And for two, you wouldn't be damaging yourself. There's a reason why you are like that. Because you accepted that you are to blame for what happened to you. You are not to blame. See what I'm saying? You didn't ask for it. But yeah, 5 years old, come on, man. You know what I mean? Why would a 5-year-old blame themselves for something that happened like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? A 5-year-old don't even know what the hell going on unless they told.
Right. That's what they trying to tell us, you know what I'm saying, to blame, ourselves for what happened, but at the same time, they didn't want you to even know who you even are.
Yeah, also too, Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
The whole study of Stockholm syndrome is how, in most cases, the one that was abused, the one that was held hostage, see what I'm saying, this whole sex trafficking thing, they love their abuser. And that's psychologically, damaging. And that's Black people. Right. That's Hispanics and Native Americans. See what I'm saying? Like you do anything to think that it's your fault. Right. See what I'm saying? But you never look on the other side. And then, the studies of how to show them how to break that cycle is you have to show them.
Yes. What they've done, what the person has done to you.
Right.
Yes. Exactly.
It's almost like they're hypnotized to think that it's on them and not the other way around.
Right. But here's the thing. They will never tell any other race that the suffering that happened with them was their own fault. It didn't happen. Now they have to take accountability. They'll never tell the Jewish man, well, even though a whole lot of that stuff was the Jewish man's fault.
Right.
A whole lot of that stuff was the Jewish man's fault. And the thing about it is that the Nazis at the time just decided to take action against it.
Right.
When they let it go for all of this long time, they let them be all slick and take over this and take over that, take all the businesses and steal and all of that stuff. They let them do that for a long time. It's only when the Hitler's regime come in to be like, it's like, no, we're tired of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to, they tired of them setting up on, political seats and stuff like that and stealing and sapping everything out of Germany.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Austria and places like that. There's like, we need to, carry out, actually carry out our wrath upon them.
Right. Like exactly what Rob just said. you can't try to steal, molest, rape, pillage, or kill these other nations and they won't do something about it.
Right.
But for us, we just take it because we are being mentally abused. We are being mentally like effed in the head to the point where we stay in place. We listen. We sit down like a dog and do nothing to protect ourselves, our family, and this is going on for generations. For generation, that has happened. That's why there's no heroes for those that have been violated. There are no heroes for the guys, like Jeremiah said.
Right.
Like we don't have no heroes in the Black community for the things that is happening to us in every shape and form, and that's a problem. And those are the problems I was speaking about amongst our community. You know what I mean? Like somebody has to stand up. Somebody has to stand up and be a hero for us so we can get out of that mindset.
Right.
Otherwise, we are still going to be stuck and be walked over and not desired in this earth. And we are never going to get out this captivity.
Right. And the thing about it, the heroes that we have to be all about us. They can't be about everybody.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That type of heroism has no power to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine, like, say for instance, actually Hitler was a hero for the German right. You know what I'm saying? Because he was all about Germany.
And you know what I'm saying? No one can argue that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't argue that. He's looked at the history as being such a bad man, but once you really analyze, the whole Nazi regime and stuff like that, I mean, you can't look at him as being, you know what I'm saying, no eviler than any other person that only cares about his own people first. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's really, in reality, that's how it's supposed to be. You're going to have, that's why everybody's not cut to be any type of leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order to be a leader, you got to be all about that people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All about them. That's what it's got to take. You know what I'm saying? Hell, what is some other, because our leaders is about everybody.
They are.
But we don't even understand what a leader's supposed to be. We think that a leader's only supposed to look like a leader. Mm. You know what I'm saying? He's only supposed to look rich. and educated. We can't even see past that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't even when Barack Obama no black person asked, well, what is his policies? That's what white people would ask. When white people have a leader, they pick Trump because Trump's pro-white. You know what I'm saying? They love Trump because Trump is pro-white. You can't call them wrong for that.
Right.
How can you call them wrong? You know what I'm saying? And instead of calling them wrong, we should have learned from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got another thing too. He's charged with being all about his own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're in a leadership position like that, and you seem like you're swaying towards somebody else. The other councilman will be like, hey, wait a minute, hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, don't do this. We don't be needed to give them no leg up.
Right.
Over us.
If I could, I want to say like to give you a vain example, like although Malcolm X was in the wrong profession, you see what I'm saying? Like if Malcolm X, because we know that Malcolm X wasn't about the whites, you know what I mean? He was about black power, things of that sort. Let's say that he never was a Muslim, but he was someone that really did fear the Most High. See what I'm saying? You can't say that he's wrong because he was only about his people. Now, you can't say that about Martin Luther King because he was about everybody. As you know, he was smashing on the white one.
Right.
You feel me? But like, look at that as a vain example. We need like take Malcolm X, put him in the UPK, and see from that standpoint. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people like vain examples because when it's us, they say we racist.
Right.
Now, but what they call Malcolm X racist?
They were calling him racist.
Racist?
Yeah.
But look,
matter of fact, they was even trying to call Martin Luther King racist because at the time they wasn't really sure about his agenda for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why one of the reasons why Martin Luther King was such a threat and they hated him at the time.
Right.
But once they were sure, you know what I'm saying, that he was about, something that was speaking towards their interests.
Right.
Then they start siding with him.
Right. And I mean, more of the story, you need somebody who is not going to compromise for anything. It's funny because there's stories that we are being told all the time, and even the generals will, speak publicly about it, how they always try to come to him with a bag. They try to compromise and, change the way that you say this and, open up, your organization to more races of people. And it's no. Because the minute that happens, everything falls for us.
Right.
Now that seal, that protection, those gates is all going to be knocked down.
Right.
And now we are going to be, hurt.
Right.
And not protected. That hedge is going to be gone. And we need somebody who is serious, who really is all about the people and nothing but the people.
Right.
And that is Commander Juliana.
Right.
All right. So like it.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. That's shout.
Verse 5. None I. We didn't finish before.
Oh, we didn't?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody was salted? I believe the salt. You put the salt on the baby, just like when you take salt and you put it on, certain things, it causes you to be able to gather it up faster. Being the fact that the baby's covered in afterbirth and blood and stuff like that, maybe that was a technique that they would use to put salt on the baby, you know what I'm saying? So that they'll be able to just gather, whatever it is, in little clumps. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And just take it off of the baby before even washing it.
Mm-hmm.
That
was old school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Old school remedies and stuff like that, It was not salted. Mm-hmm. Nor swaddled at all. With the swaddle, okay, verse 5. None I pity thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou was cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou was born. Nobody will have all of these different religions and stuff that we following and all of that. They ain't got nothing to benefit from you. They're not looking at you at all. Even if they do, they're just taking what it is that, that they can get from you. And you go through your calamity, they're not trying to help you at all. Now we think, oh, what about George Floyd? George Floyd, they're not trying to help you with that. They're just trying to act like, just trying to, for one thing, the other heathens is using that as an occasion to sell you stuff. You know what I'm saying? While the white heathens, on the other hand, they're joining with you, to steal the thunder out of your movement. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take it out of your, just like they did with the civil rights and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And what do? They hijack the civil rights movement. Now, see, here's what will happen. They'll start to do stuff like that, act like they marching with us, but a lot of them be feds and all of that. But what they'll do is, so now when something happens to them, you'll go over and you'll march with them. You see what I'm saying? And then something will happen with your people. You'll be so busy with them that you won't give a damn about what the hell happens with your people. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, if they're weaved among you, then they'll be like, well, if we're among them, then they'll be less likely to tear up the inner city. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's actually there to neutralize you. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're there. And then when something happened with them, regardless of what it is, now they calling up on us to go help them. No, and it shouldn't be like that. If something happened with their people, they go march for their people. We'll march for ours. You know what I'm saying? Because see, that would make too much of a separation. That's why they don't want that. Because if we separate from them, they become the niggas.
Right.
That's the reason why this whole Rittenhouse thing, you know what I'm saying? We get to see a lot from that. With this whole Rittenhouse thing. And that's proof of what I'm saying, because then it'll become about classism among whites. Mm-hmm. That's what will happen. The whites of the great house, of the Rittenhouses, and all of that will be able to treat the ones that are not of a great house just like Negroes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What we need to do is allow that to happen, because if we join them, then we still going to be the niggas. And it'll be the upper class whites and the lower class whites against blacks. And see, because here's one piece of history that people don't know. 200 years ago or so, poor whites were not called white.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The only white people were the rich. These were called white people. Everybody else was dirty rice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was from these, the Italians, they didn't call them white. You know what I'm saying? They just called guineas and dagos and all of that stuff. They weren't called white. Poor whites, regardless of where you come from, the Irish and all of them, they were not called white. The only reason why they start calling them white was during the time of the slave revolts. During the time of the slave revolts, they had to neutralize it. You know what I'm saying? They had to neutralize that, because a lot of the poor whites started relating to the blacks and all of that, and figured, well, damn, if we help the blacks, then maybe it could strengthen our position here or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we going through the same stuff or whatever. But as soon as the government said, why are y'all helping them when y'all are white like us? Then the whole damn thing shifted, and those poor whites started killing the hell out of us. The same ones that was formerly helping us. So we got to learn a lot from history. One thing that, you know what I'm saying, that we learn from history is the fact that ain't nobody learned a damn thing from history. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We can't make that the biggest damn thing that we learn out of history. We need to consider these things and these events and all of that, and what happened with them. Hindsight. You know what I'm saying? You got to have hindsight just like you have foresight.
Right.
You have to have that.
Open up that third eye.
Yeah. Yeah. That third eye, you know what I'm saying? Gotta open it up.
Right.
Okay. Verse 6. And when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live, yea. I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. You know what I'm saying? And notice this. Look at the metaphor. Look at the metaphor. Put this in like a literal sense. The Most High is the super great king and he's in the city. You know, maybe doing some shopping or something like that. You know, he see this baby out. You know what I'm saying? With the cord. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't even cut. None of that. The baby's just laying there in blood and afterbirth and all of that, just cast out. And he's looking at everybody like, damn, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. He's like, damn, they just walking straight by, just looking like, ugh, and just keeping it going. And the Most High walks through with his crew, with his, you know what I'm saying, with his powerful crew and everything, and sees the baby there and be like, and like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna get at it. The compassion rolls up, like I got to do something about this, you know. And so he said, live. Yeah, you know, you got to know you're super powerful when you can just say, live, and take your, you know what I'm saying, your sceptre and just put it on it. Live, yay. You know, that's some powerful stuff right there. You know, and when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thy own blood, I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live, yea. I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. Verse 7, I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thy hair is grown. It's not bald-headed no more. You know what I'm saying? Whereas thou was naked and bare. You know what I'm saying?
So the baby lives.
Right. And the Most High took the baby, you know what I'm saying, and raised it up and put honor upon the baby.
It must be a girl child.
Right, yeah, this is metaphorically talking about a female. You know what I'm saying? Because in this chapter right here, the Most High raises it as a daughter. And nobody want to have nothing to do with her at first. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't gonna have a damn thing to do with her, you know, and just left her in the open field when she was a baby and all of that. But at the same time, when the Most High took her in, raised her up, cleaned off, and all of that, now everybody desire her.
Right.
And the thing about it, now she's desiring everybody. That's what starts to go on later in the chapter. Because she's start to desire them, and she started to forget about, you know what I'm saying, the man that took her up and raised her up, cleaned her off, you know what I'm saying, and made her into something, you know, glorious. I mean, we could read maybe a couple of more.
You said one, two.
If you want to just get a little bit more of an in-depth.
Okay.
You know.
And then next we're going to study 8.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
Verse 8. Now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant with thee, said the Lord God, and thou camest mine. Verse 9. Then washed I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. And I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. You know, put her in straight honor. You know what I'm saying? Now, she is the Most High's property. You know what I'm saying? And this is most, you know, it's metaphorically also speaking, like if a man did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He then took her to raise her as, you know, a daughter. You know, which she is his property. He took and raised her up and did all, you know what I'm saying, all this and that. You know, but soon as she started to look gorgeous and everything, now everybody else, you know what I'm saying, all the other nations see her as something that they want to sleep with. You know, and now she starts to dote after them.
No, this is actually a good precept, well, a good chapter.
Right, yeah, this is a real strong chapter right here.
You want to say something, sis?
Metaphorically speaking, is this talking about America?
No, it's not talking about America, dear. This is talking about us. This is talking about Israel. You know what I'm saying? The Most High brought us out of our own blood in Israel. You know what I'm saying? Now, actually, this is metaphor also, too. This is also, you know, because the Most High is going to have to do that same thing again with us here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bring us out of our own blood and all of that stuff here. You know, the prophecies, they go on and on and on. They don't just they don't just happen once.
Right.
They happen again and again and again. As long as we put ourselves in the same situation, the same thing got to happen again. That's happened before. You know what I'm saying?
And, you know, a lot of people say, history repeats itself. Well, I mean, as far as context, yes. As far as this context, yes, but you got to ask yourself why.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ask yourself why.
Right.
Because something has not changed.
Right.
Like we can rewrite a new, better history. You know what I mean? As long as we do what the Lord told us to do before.
Right. It's like it talks about just like the scripture says, to bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Shit. We really can't just only look at the transatlantic slave trade. No. You got to look at the organ trafficking and the damn sex trafficking and stuff of nowadays too.
That's slavery.
Right, and it's ships, even though it might not be done on the water. Prison also, because think about it. If UPS come and drop something off, what do you call it? You call it shipping and receiving. Yeah, but it didn't have to be on the water, did it?
Delivery, no.
Yeah, some sort of thing being transported from one thing to the next is shipping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether it's by air, by land, or by water, whatever the case is, it's still the same thing. Shipping and handling. You got paid shipping and handling on shit that ain't even going across the water.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's probably down the street.
Right, exactly. Yeah. A lot of times that's what they do. They really do that for real. You know, you think it's coming from damn somewhere else, but it's actually really coming from your own damn city and these distribution centers.
Right.
Go ahead.
Now, like if you like buying groceries from the store, if you don't go pick, if you got like picking them up, or what is it called? I can't think of the thing.
Curbside.
Yeah, if you gotta not you picking them up, but Uber Eats or whatever, they got you paying
all these delivery fees.
Yeah, all these delivery fees and stuff. You shouldn't be paying that because that's called shipping and handling. That's called shipping, basically.
Right, it's taking some from from point A to point B.
Still in the same city.
Right, but you still wonder because it's a hustle that they doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They charge you for shipping, even though the stuff is right damn up the street from you.
Right.
You still got to pay the shipping fee.
Right. Like for example, the other day, I think it might have been yesterday or Thursday. I didn't. I was tired, and I really didn't feel like going to Cubs, which is literally 3 minutes walking distance. So I did Instacart.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I did Instacart, so someone can go pick it up for you at the store and bring it to you. I mean, I think I spent like maybe like it was probably like $15 on Tylenol. I bought like two different sizes, and when I seen the total, it was like almost $30.
You have to spend $30 in order for them to go be able to get it, and you have because the total of the shipping and the delivery fee too.
So all that stuff adds up. And I was like, look, I need some because we ran out. I want to get in. I was like, damn, good night. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's down the street.
Right, and DoorDash, golly.
I like DoorDash, but like I be mindful what I get still.
Right, yeah, I mean they tear your back out on DoorDash too. Burger King just right up street from here. We order something from Burger King. Yeah, they'll go to Burger King. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they'll get that, bring it here. They can just go to that one. What's wrong with that one?
Yeah, good night. Anyway, is that it on that?
Yeah, that's it.
We already get 2 hours. Just still good. Kind of moving about fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Margin? Right.
Go watch the movie. Go put the deodorant in my room and go watch the movie. All right.
When I get done, let's face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kadash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Taba'ah. Zaka. Hayah. Aisha. Barataza. Kawa. Hayah. Mashamayim. Thunder now. Come. Call. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kabawafi now. Wasalak now. Kabawafi now. Wala Tabiyah now. Banasai one. Kabal. Kabashai now. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Malakwa. Wa Allah. Wa Tapar. Lawalayim. Come.
In English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed.
How?
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
On earth.
On earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Give us our debts.
Give us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
We forgive our debts.
And lead us not to temptation.
Lead us not to temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
Deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
Amen. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Alahari. Mayan. Yaba'ah. Nazaria. Nazaria. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Aisha. Shemaiah. Warataza. Al-Yatan. Mamawat. Regalka. Al-Yanawan. Shamarka. Ana'ah. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yeshan. Shalman. Yashala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Zalka. Al. Yeah. Yamyanka. Yalmam. Hashimash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarak. Wayala. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Call. Rai. Yashamar. Atnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Tazafka. Wabalaka. Mayata. Wai. Iwalam.
In English, I lift up mine eyes.
I will lift up mine eyes
to the hill.
To the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
Whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help comes from the Lord.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
he
that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by
The sun
day.
shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all
The
evil.
Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore. Prayer for the Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Babakashah. Dananau. Hakat. Hakat. Rapa'ah. Kalmakala. Kalmadawa. Hakat. Atahar. Amatazariah. Hakat. Lahakim. to my Allah, the Darshan, by Shimi Awashah, the Wadaman.
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. Please give us the power.
Please give us power.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. By Shimi Awashah. Barak Lanao. Waya Sha'ala. Wabiyah. Sapari. Barak. Rafa'ah. Magun. Say the name of loved ones once. Everyone repeats the name once.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
IHK Minnesota.
IHK Minnesota. All of Israel.
All of Israel.
IHK Minnesota.
IHK Minnesota. Israelite School UPK.
Israelite School UPK. The reservation.
Haiti. Mexico. Puerto Rico.
By Shimi Awashah. The Wadaman.
In English, Lord, in the name of Yahweh.
Lord, in the name of Yahweh.
Bless us in Israel.
Bless us in Israel.
In the school.
Bless
Heal, shield, protect.
Heal, protect.
Loved ones. In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
So be it. Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Al Damayah. Lakah. Al Takarash. Al Tashakwat. Al Kayahana. Al Yabika. Yahama. Yawan. Rash. Al Imaka. Yarayama. Sawara. Wayata. Yatazawa. Al Tazawapanka. Al Tazawapanka. Amarwa. Lakawa. Wanakidam. Magalia. Wala. Yazakar. Sham. Yashala. Aywara. Kaya. Nazazawa. Laba. Yakadwa. Alyaka. Baria. Yakaratwa. Alia. Adawam. Why? Yashimai. Ayam. Moa'aba. Mo'agari. Kabal. Waimawan. Waimalak. Alashab. Ain. Shabi. War. Kam. Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Ayawa. Sarwa. Labanya. Lawat. Selah. Aisha. Laham. Madian. Siyasara. Yabi. Banakao. Yashwan. Nashamadwa. Bayanda Ara. Hayawa. Daman. La Dama. Shatamwa. Nara. Yab. Mawa. Rab. Wakazaba. Wakazaba. Wakazal. Manai. Call. Nasiyakamwa. Ashar. Marwa. Nairasha. Lanawa. Ath. Nawaf. Alahayim. Alahayah. Shatamwa. Goka. Kwash. Panya. Waka Kaash. Abara. Yaira. Wakalahaba. Alahat. Hariam. Khan. Daratma. Basiraka. Basa. Pasta. Tabalaham. Allah. Hanyaham. One. Wabakashwa. Shaka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Waba Awa. Idea. I. Wakapawa. Wayabadwa. Wayadawa. Kayata. Shamka. Hawa. Labaka. Aliyawan. Al. Call. Kaharatas.
Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They consulted against thy enemies. They have said, Come,
Come.
Let us cut them off of being a nation.
Let us cut them off of being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
The name of Israel.
May be no more in remembrance.
May be no more remembrance.
But they have consulted together.
But they consulted together.
For one consent.
One consent.
They are confederate against
you. They are confederate against you.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Moab.
And Gadarenes.
Gadarenes.
Gaul.
And
Ammon.
And Ammon.
Amalek.
The Amalek.
The Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre.
Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also joined with them.
Ashur also joined with them.
They have hope for the children of
Lot.
Lot.
The children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Going to them as to the Midianites.
Going to them as to the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of
The
Kisan.
brook of Kisan.
Was parents that endure.
Parents that endure.
They became as dung for the
They
earth.
became as dung for the earth.
Make the nobles like a rib.
Make the nobles like a rear.
And like Zeid.
And like Zeid.
Yea.
Yea.
Are the princes as a Ba.
Are the princes of Ba.
And as a moon.
And as a moon.
Who said. Let's take to ourselves.
Let's take to ourselves.
The house of God in possession.
The house of God in possession.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As a stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As fire burneth the wood.
And as the flames set the mountains on fire.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy temptress.
Persecute with thy temptress.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
Let them be seek thy name.
Let me seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let them be confounded in trouble.
Let them be confounded in trouble.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou.
That men may know that thou.
Whose name alone is Yahweh.
Whose name alone is Yahweh.
Art the most high over all the
Art
earth.
the most high over all the earth.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things live.
And all things live.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Name Yahweh Shai.
Name Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
So he was accursed.
So he was accursed.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment, destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against
Like
us.
prophets.
Like prophets.
The teachers.
Teachers.
The princes.
Princes.
The priests.
Priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite
In
brothers.
the school.
In the school.
So he was accursed.
So he was accursed.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of
For
Israel.
the rich of Israel.
And refuse to give to the
They
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
Into thy sanctuary.
Into thy sanctuary.
So he was accursed.
So he was accursed.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
The nation.
And the drug
And the drug dealers.
corpses.
Courses.
And prison
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our
All the
enemies.
governments of our enemies.
Amulets to the gods and armies.
Emulates to the gods and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Eschatology.
Church.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
U.S. Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Cosmic Comitatus.
South Comitatus.
The gay movement.
Gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Works in
Crimes
witchcraft.
and witchcraft.
NASA space program.
National Space Program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any thy people.
Big spirit of our people.
That seek to stop us.
Seek to stop us.
Bring swift destruction.
Bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
All the heathen.
That stand in the way.
Stand in the way.
Try to stop
To try to stop
us.
us.
Broadcast your word.
Broadcast new words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let lose all the
They
plague.
lose all the plague.
Cause them to go to and
Cause
fro.
them to go to and fro.
Through the earth they consume them.
Until the earth consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
Let Yahweh Shai,
The Yahweh Shai.
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel.
come down to flying
Down
saucers,
to flying saucers.
punish all the heathen
Punch all the heathen.
that come up against
Come
us
up against us.
as we speak thy
Word
word.
and speak thy word.
Cause we know by all
Let it be known by all.
that it is the angels that have done.
There's the angels that have done.
Cause it to spread through the media
Let it be spread to the media.
throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy
Let
coming.
them shake it back up.
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
Give me up, Shai.
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So,
So. What's that?
all right, that concludes the Sabbath service. Shalom, Israel.